Once the column has gotten to temperature, you will begin to see bubbling or foaming on the trays. In this video I have the insulation off so you can see all 4 trays, but you should be able to see the top tray with the insulation on, and you can see foaming and bubbling as vapor rises through the column and liquid falls back down. That vapor rises up the distillation column until it reaches the condenser up above where the cooling water is going through. Once the condensed distillate leaves the condenser, it flows into this decanter, and you can see the distillate dripping down into the decanter. It then flows out of the decanter and back to this reflux valve. When the reflux valve is off, it all flows back to the column as total reflux. If we turn the reflux valve on and set the reflux ratio, we will get a certain amount of distillate going to this top product tank and the remainder back on the top of the column, tray 1. So let's review the procedures now for operating in this way. In order to set the reflux ratio, you go here to PID 2 and double click. This opens a pop-up, and on that pop-up you want to do the manual mode of operation and put your reflux ratio here. So we'll begin with a 5-to-1 ratio. In addition to putting in the reflux ratio, we also want to put in the cycle time over here, and we have a procedure where the cycle time is the reflux plus 1, so that'll be 5 plus 1 or 6 seconds for the cycle time. Apply OK. So that puts the reflux ratio in. You can read it on this right here. In order to turn the reflux on, you're going to hit this red button on the reflux control, and then you should hear clicks as it switches. Here is a view of the reflux valve at the back of the column. When you hear it click, the valve is changing directions from this tubing that's going into the top product vessel or to this clear tubing where it's refluxing back onto the column. Because the ratio is 5-to-1 and the cycle time 6, it will empty distillate into the top product vessel 1 second and reflux back to the column for 5 seconds. So here is the product vessel where the reflux goes, and you can see for 1 second when the valve is open towards the product vessel, reflux flows into this graduated cylinder in the center of the vessel. This graduated cylinder is there so you can measure the volumetric flow rate of distillate coming into the product vessel. The distillate in the graduated cylinder can be drained with this black valve. Do not open the red valve. It drains the tank, which is methanol coming out at you. So it's the black valve, and you want to open and empty into that bucket, and you want to watch the rate in the cylinder and not go too far past 0, or it takes a while to fill it back up. Once you have it emptied, you're ready to measure the distillate rate in the graduated cylinder. To measure the distillate rate, you measure an initial volume with the graduated cylinder and then count the number of clicks. Because you know there are 6 seconds between clicks, you will automatically know the time if you count the number. So after 3 clicks, you read the final volume, and the information of final volume minus initial volume divided by the time in seconds will give you milliliters per second, and convert this to milliliters per minute for your material balance.